There's a certain kind of person who can sit in a room full of conversation and feel no urge to fill the silence, not because they have nothing to say, but because something in them is already listening, watching, processing, and while everyone else is reacting in real time, they seem to exist just half a step behind, or maybe deeper. Most people don't quite know what to do with that. Silence gets labeled quickly: distant, awkward, disinterested, sometimes even arrogant. And over time, those labels start to stick in ways that don't quite feel accurate, but are hard to shake off. It creates this quiet pressure to explain yourself, or to become something more easily understood. But what's often missed is that this isn't a lack of something. It's a different kind of orientation. When we talk about people who stay quiet, it's usually framed as a personality trait: introversion, shyness, social discomfort. But there's more going on here than people realize. In many cases, this kind of quiet isn't about fear of speaking. It's about the way the brain is prioritizing information. Research in neuroscience shows that some individuals have a more active default mode network, the part of the brain involved in internal reflection, memory processing, and meaning-making. So while others are engaged outwardly, these individuals are running a parallel process inwardly. They're noticing subtleties, reading tone, tracking emotional shifts, not just what's being said, but what's underneath it. And that kind of processing takes space. Often, this pattern doesn't appear randomly. It develops in environments where speaking up didn't always feel safe, or where being observant was more useful than being expressive. The nervous system adapts. It learns that it's better to watch first, to understand before reacting. Over time, that becomes less of a strategy and more of a default state. It's not about preference as much as it is about conditioning. And it's important to say this clearly: this way of being isn't better or worse than being expressive or outgoing. It's just different. Some people externalize their thoughts to understand them. Others internalize them first. Neither is more correct. They simply operate on different timelines. But here's the part that's rarely talked about. The same depth that allows quiet people to understand others so well can also make them feel misunderstood. Because when you're used to observing more than expressing, people often only see the surface of you. They respond to what you show, not what you notice, and that gap can feel strangely isolating. At the same time, there's a quiet strength in it. The ability to pause before reacting, to hold multiple perspectives at once, to notice patterns that others overlook. These aren't loud traits, but they shape how someone moves through the world in a very real way. It creates a kind of grounded awareness that doesn't need constant validation to exist. Still, it comes with trade-offs. Silence protects, but it can also hide, not just from others, but sometimes from being fully known. If this is something you recognize in yourself, it isn't a flaw that needs correcting. It's a pattern that made sense somewhere along the way, a way your mind learned to navigate complexity. And even now, it carries a kind of intelligence that isn't always visible, but is deeply felt. There's more to this than just being quiet. And if something in this felt familiar, there are other parts of you that probably haven't been put into words yet either.